Is the MAFEX Weapon X the figure we needed but Hasbro failed to deliver? At over $100, does the figure actually deliver value for money with all the accessories included? Or is this another expensive MAFEX upgrade we don't really need? Let's start by comparing what both Marvel Legends Weapon X and the MAFEX Weapon X have in common to see who did it better. I expect MAFEX to win simply because it's more expensive. Some collectors told me that comparing an import figure like MAFEX to Hasbro doesn't make sense, but I'm doing this for upgrade purposes and for collectors like me who felt underwhelmed by what Hasbro made. Being 1/5 or 1/6 the price of MAFEX, Marvel Legends have fewer accessories because Weapon X comes with the Sugarman Build-A-Figure leg. But is that Build-A-Figure leg enough plastic for us to ignore the lack of an alternate head? Marvel Legends has one head with teeth clenched, angry expression. MAFEX has a similar head but with all white eyes, while Marvel Legends shows Logan's blue eyes. Why the difference? MAFEX follows Logan's look in the original Weapon X comic book series, while Marvel Legends seems to follow the X-Men Alpha cover design where his blue eyes are visible instead of the white out. In my opinion, James Howlett of Earth 295 looks better with white out eyes. It makes him look more intense and more feral. For me, his look on Weapon X #1 cover art by Adam Kubert is the most iconic, and even MAFEX packaging shows that art here. That uncontrollable rage is what brought Logan closer to Jean Grey. Magneto had Jean use her mental powers to calm Wolverine's rages. That closeness eventually blossomed into romance, and that's why Jean Grey is married to Logan instead of Scott in Earth 295. Scott is on Apocalypse side, more Cyclops drama in a future review. Both hairstyles are almost the same for Marvel Legends and MAFEX. MAFEX does it better though, aesthetically. They sculpted 3-layered bangs, whereas Hasbro has only one. Notice that this 3-layered bangs is exactly the same as how he was drawn in the cover art of Weapon X. For me, the skin tone is better on MAFEX as well. He looks pale and battle-worn, unlike Hasbro's more orange, cartoon-like flesh tone. Hasbro Marvel Legends Weapon X has a total of 3 hands. He has a right fist clenched with his claws out, and a left hand with the stump. MAFEX has the same set of hands, but I prefer the MAFEX claws. More on that later. First, we need to discuss the stump's origin. It's no secret that Cyclops blew off Logan's hands, which is why he has a stump. Marvel never explained why the hand never grew back. Some say his healing factor isn't as strong as Earth 616 Logan. Let me know in the comments below, do you agree that his healing factor wasn't strong enough to regenerate his hand? My opinion, Marvel kept the stump because it looks fresh, distinct, and it fits the apocalyptic look. They didn't need to follow healing factor canon here at all. The only alternate hand Marvel Legends gives us is an alternate stump with a claw. MAFEX has a claw stump as well, and that claw style matches the right hand. I wasn't aware of the origins of the stump claws until this review. You can find that story in Weapon X #4. In the panel, Wolverine clearly says, "Cyclops may have lopped off my hands, but my claws were retracted inside my forearm." Side by side, which one do you prefer? For me, the difference is night and day, and it's not just the shape. The Marvel Legends claws and stump accessory are molded in a very dull, flat, plastic-looking gray. They feel flimsy and look like a toy. The MAFEX, on the other hand, has that beautiful metallic sheen and texture. It looks like a real polished adamantium. Hard rock looking, the MAFEX claws are also intimidating. Long, curved, and more like a real Wolverine claws. I mean like the animal Wolverine, not the comic book character. Now, what the Legends claws lack in looks, they make it up for durability because they won't break. For MAFEX, I have to be extremely careful handling it because the claws feel like they could snap in two. Still, I really don't like the old Marvel Legends claws. I'm glad it seems Hasbro is phasing them out and moving towards a Gamerverse style claws similar to MAFEX. Articulation. MAFEX has the double dumbbell neck peg, while Marvel Legends Weapon X uses the older Hasbro hinge neck system. The old Wolverine buck has a butterfly joint, an ab crunch, and a waist swivel. MAFEX has butterfly joints too, with both upper torso and waist swivel. The MAFEX butterfly joints in front have sculpted red stripe details, but mine did get scratches after I articulated it, so make sure to heat it up to loosen the joints. My MAFEX brown costume Wolverine got damaged because of how tight the upper torso was. Glad this one did not get damaged. Just going back, the red stripes along the butterfly joints. For MAFEX, it's only in the front, but at the back, there are no red stripes. Marvel Legends has the red stripes at the back. So which one is accurate? Actually, if we're talking about the Weapon X series, MAFEX is accurate. There are no red stripes at the back of Wolverine's shirt. Hasbro still used pin elbows and knees, while MAFEX has the usual pinless joints. A small gripe, when fully bent, a gap appears between the knee and leg. Make sure to adjust it before posing to hide that particular hole. Another issue, when kicking forward, my MAFEX makes a squeaky noise. The joints are too tight and they just won't really move. I tried hot water, a hair dryer, and even mild dishwashing liquid to lubricate the peg. Nothing worked. Thanks to fellow YouTuber Jeans Gems for recommending shock oil in his Battle Damaged Spider-Man review. I ordered one but shipping will take time. I will drop a video update on YouTube Shorts on whether shock oil fixed this tight MAFEX joints as soon as it arrives, so make sure you're subscribed. Hasbro Wolverine claws hands always hinge forward and back. MAFEX uses a different peg system so the hands can hinge in almost any direction, though this also makes it impossible to swap hands with Marvel Legends. Hasbro has an upper thigh swivel, while MAFEX has a drop-down leg system with its own swivel. The ball hinge on his foot, thus the rotation. For me, the claws and head sculpt alone are already clear upgrades. The argument is whether MAFEX is worth it. It costs 5 times more expensive than a Hasbro Marvel Legends figure. So let's see the rest of the accessories. MAFEX includes 2 more head sculpts. Like the first head, the eyes are completely white, matching the Weapon X #1 artwork. Would a blue-eyed variant be nice? Maybe, but I really don't like Weapon X with blue eyes, so I'm happy with this choice. Similar to the angry teeth clenched head, the hair has 3 layered bangs, again accurate to the art of Weapon X, but this time positioned differently. I really like overall the paint MAFEX did to the heads, the dark outline around the eyes, the lip color, and the subtle line work. It really looks like that Weapon X art by Adam Kubert. MAFEX is known for making more animated style or arcade looking head sculpts, but this one actually looks better. It's more realistic compared to what Hasbro did. Weapon X comes with an alternate right closed fist hand and an open, expressive right hand. And what else? Surely for a $100 figure, he would come with a few more hands? He comes with the MAFEX stand with different claw options. And just to be sure, there's really nothing else here. That's it. I was expecting more. Maybe a weapon holding hand, other expressive hands like Psylocke and Gambit usually get. Weapon X must have been out of resources during the Age of Apocalypse to come with so little accessories. This is actually a typical Wolverine treatment. The MAFEX brown costume Wolverine also came with similar right hand options. The MAFEX brown costume Wolverine has a pair of closed fist hands. He has a pair of open palm expressive hands. He also has a pair of closed fist hands with his claws out. The head count is the same as well. Both Weapon X and MAFEX brown costume Wolverine comes with 3 head sculpts. Almost neutral facial expression, a more intense teeth clenched head, and one which is screaming his lungs out. I guess they make up for the lack of accessories by giving each Weapon X head a lot of plastic hair. That's a huge detailed hair. Side by side with MAFEX brown costume Wolverine, the body looks similar, especially the torso. I'm just glad that the upper torso didn't chip the paint on the lower torso like the brown costume version. The muscle sculpts are the same, so in the comments below let me know, is this an acceptable reuse? Considering how old the brown costume Wolverine mold is. If you found this comparison review helpful so far, I hope you give it a hype. Give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and share this with your friends. For places where the figures in this review might still be available, I left some links in the description below.
I'm Juggernaut!
Can you use the new intense head sculpts of Weapon X on the brown costume Wolverine? For sure you expect that you can because both figures are MAFEX with the same kind of neck peg system. I was surprised that you can't. The hole of the Weapon X head is not deep enough and large enough to peg onto the neck peg of the brown costume body. This was a bit disappointing since I like to mix and match the head sculpts of my figures to give them different looks. You probably can use blue tack or sticky tack to keep the head on. For the unmasked, screaming Logan head on the Weapon X body, the head just sits on top of the neck. It won't peg in. The MAFEX Weapon X stands 15 cm to the top of his huge hair, but it seems he is just 14.3 cm or 5.6 inches tall. According to the 90s Impel trading card, Logan stands 5 feet 3 inches tall, making this figure slightly tall for a 1/12 scale. Hasbro Marvel Legends 6-inch scale size comparisons with figures from the Sugarman Build-A-Figure wave, Weapon X, and Jean Grey. I am hoping MAFEX will create an Age of Apocalypse Jean Grey because the Hasbro figure has gummy legs. Once I forgot to fix it and it looked terrible on Instagram. Body shape wise and articulation wise, she is not the best work of Hasbro. Age of Apocalypse, Rogue, Magneto, and one of the best Sabretooth figures Hasbro has made along with Wild Child. For a hot and cold team up, Sunfire. This is my favorite look for Sunfire, and besides him, the Traitor, Iceman. Learn more about that in Uncanny X-Force series. Blink and Morph, who have a great chemistry in both Age of Apocalypse and The Exiles, although the Kevin Sidney is different in both teams. One of the versions of Shadowcat that I like, along with the Age of Apocalypse Wave 2 Build-A-Figure Colossus, and Wave 1 Build-A-Figure Sugarman. Shout out to the Power of X-Men, his favorite, Nate Gray, X-Man. Gambit of the X-Ternals. I do hope in future, Hasbro will still make other members of his team. The Dark Side, starting with Dark Beast, Cyclops, and Deluxe Figure Apocalypse. Different versions of James Howlett, X-Men 97 Brown Costume Wolverine, Capcom Wolverine of the Gamerverse line, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and World War II Logan. If you want to see how many Wolverines I have in my collection, check out the World War II Logan review, where I showed all of them except this Weapon X, and you might find some intense comments in that review too. Since Uncanny X-Force did cross path with the new Apocalypse Weapon Omega, here we have Deadpool, Wolverine, and Psylocke, who was on that Rick Remender's team. For a teenage female size comparison, X-Force X23. Medicom Toy MAFEX figures in my collection: Jean Grey, Cyclops, Phoenix, and brown costume Wolverine. Gambit and Storm, which have a strong connection in the comics. Magneto and Psylocke. Psylocke connected with Magneto when she kicked her head in X-Men #1. Mezco 112 Collective Deadpool from the movie Deadpool and Wolverine. Darna, Philippines Wonder Woman by Halimao Sculptures and Loose Collector. 6-inch scale versus 7-inch scale size comparison, Marvel celebrating 80 years Hulk, and the 7-inch scale Diamond Select Toys, Marvel Select Immortal Hulk or the Rampaging Hulk. For packaging, Weapon X, also known as MAFEX number 249, comes in the standard MAFEX almost square-shaped packaging with a window showing the figure and his accessories. The bottom features a promo shot, Weapon X Age of Apocalypse version, and the logos of X-Men, MAFEX, and Medicom Toy. The corner box says 6-inch, 249 MAFEX. The art is taken from Weapon X number 2. On the left side is a promo shot of Weapon X showing his right claws and left stump with retracted claws. This is a clever setup because if you open the box from the bottom, it will show that the claws of the stump are already out. On the right side is a headshot taken from the cover of Weapon X number 1. Promo art. At the back are a few more promo shots of the figure, possible poses that you can do, and a showcase of the accessories included. The bottom says for ages 15 and up and the barcode. When you unbox the figure, there's only one plastic tray, and behind it is the plastic bag containing the disassembled figure stand. The MAFEX Weapon X has superior sculpt and better articulation engineering, but it is a 5 times the price of a Marvel Legends, and the accessories are really light, so little. Did Medicom Toy put enough value into this figure to justify the cost? If you are the type of collector who counts the accessories, this feels like a rip-off. But if you want better head sculpts of Weapon X, you will be happy with what this figure came with. If you purchase custom head sculpts, you know how expensive a single well-painted and detailed head sculpt is. But here, MAFEX delivered 3 of them. Of course, I want more accessories for the price I paid, but this is the price of paying the Wolverine Tax. I assume he has superior articulation like the brown costume one, but I am having trouble achieving that because of the tight leg joints. It's an inconvenience that I need to get shock oil because the traditional hot water and hair dryer did not work. Having to try fix an expensive figure is indeed a letdown. I do hope this review did not let you down, but encourage you to check out my other MAFEX reviews. The link is on the top right corner of your screen. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review useful. If you do, please give it a hype. Please share it with your fellow collectors and subscribe to my channel. I have more reviews coming up soon. Hope to see you in the next one.